After sharing the frustrating discovery that we might have to rip out every single one of our original handmade wooden windows and doors due to tricky energy regulations, we spent weeks researching a solution, and in this episode, we share our long-awaited breakthrough.
There it is. Wow. We got a game plan.
This might not be as complicated as I thought it would be. We're Brittany and Drew, two hopeful adventurers who got married and after 8 years of van life, found our dream property and moved across the globe to Portugal, where we're now documenting the journey of transforming this historic watermill into our very first home, not on wheels. Now, let's take in a deep breath and let it out. Let the adventure begin. Good morning, guys. Drew and his dad are over in the mill. He told me to come over at about 10:15 to document the crazy thing that they're going to attempt to do right now. So as you guys know, we have a window problem, sort of a window solution that needs to be figured out. So we have wooden window frames, and along with figuring out the energy rating for those wooden window frames. Hi, kitty. You want to say hi? But basically, in making the decision to try and keep our wooden windows and not go with aluminum or PVC windows, which is what they're used to here in Portugal, we have also come to realize that the exterior of the watermill, like the new portion, not the stone portion, just the new portion, which has like 3 different kinds of bricks, like the red bricks, the gray concrete bricks, and then like just the concrete in between everywhere, like those have different heat properties. And so if we don't put a thick layer of insulation, which what they do here in Europe is put like foam, cork, or rock wool on the exterior. Rock wool and cork are fireproof. Cork is even better because you can use less of a thickness. And why that's extremely important is because whatever thickness we add to the exterior of this portion of the mill is going to affect our ability to open the shutters of the windows. So, with all this being said, Drew and his dad are going to attempt to cut out the smallest window in our bedroom and see what the experience is like pushing it out, because the window as well as the shutter will both have to be pushed out to be able to be opened, in regards to however thick the insulation is on the exterior of the mill. On top of that insulation goes plaster, but that's thin enough anyway. And that insulation is what would keep everything from cracking. Did I not say that part? If we don't put the insulation, whether it's the foam, cork, or rock wool, then the plaster that gets applied would crack because of the different heat properties and temperature resistant things of all of the different materials used to build those walls. This is what happens when they don't properly insulate the exterior of a building. The plaster cracks, the moisture gets in, and mold takes over. Not what we want. So it's really important we have the insulation. We have to push those windows out. Let's see what the guys are doing. Hopefully that all made sense. Right, baby? Oh, here comes Mr. Adventure.
Man, it's a hot one out here today. Can you make me an element? Maybe a watermelon salt?
Your fave. Coming right up. If you guys haven't heard of Element before, it is a salty electrolyte drink that helps us stay hydrated and feel our very best.
It helps keep our electrolytes in balance and prevent things like headaches, brain fog, and fatigue.
At first I wasn't sure about the salty water thing, and now I truly can't drink water without an Element stick pack.
I'm forever licking my lips just thinking of that salty goodness.
Me too. I love all the flavors, like mango chili is delicious. Chocolate salt is also my favorite. We want to thank Element for sponsoring this episode and for making delicious limited time flavors like the summery lemonade salt. And right now you can get a free sample pack of Element's most popular drink mix flavors by visiting drinklmnt.com/adventure. Oops. Which one do I want? I'm going mango chili.
Visit drinklmnt.com/adventure or click the link below to get a free sample pack with any purchase. As we've explained before, we've had many decisions to make around our house out here, and the windows have been one of the most complicated things because we've had to be sure that we can use the old wood windows that are on the mill that were put in and installed handmade by the previous owner. They're really beautiful Meranti wood, as you can see right here. Nice shutters and everything. Well, as we do the insulation and plaster work to the house, these need to be pulled out. And one of the things my dad and I want to test is, can we get that window out of this hole quite easily in order to pop it out? So today, that's exactly what we're about to do. We are going to cut this window out from the walls of the house and see if we can bump it out. So pretty soon, we will not have a window there.
So if you shoot in there, you can kind of see. I'm just really trying to get all the insulation. I mean, I'm hitting the steel. That's the cement right there.
Yeah, there's no steel pins or screws.
No,
or
so that's
bars.
a big difference because I'm used to hitting studs or steel screws. And, I'm trying to get as much as I can.
Yeah. In the long run, we're going to have to redo some of the ceiling in here. We'll refoam it, along with cleaning up these boards and making them look pristine. So we're going to try a little bit from the inside and see if we can get this saw going through. All right, let's see if we can do it. All right.
Okay, here, I'm going to help you. Let's go sideways.
Yeah. Like a lumberjack.
Your way, yep.
Go your way, my way, your way, my way, your way, my way, my way, my way. My way. One more. I'm hitting, I'm all the way to the corner, really.
Oh, you are to the corner. Okay.
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, this is perfect. Okay. See, there's a hole here, so it helps me. Okay, ready?
Your way, my way, your way, my way, your way. There we go. I'm touching. Dude, that was a cool method. We're totally free along this top edge below the lintel.
The side you can't see in though, right?
No, because I'm hitting,
Okay, wood. Where's our wood?
Yeah. There we go. That's how we did it right there.
Okay.
You're gonna hold it up there?
I'm just helping you hold it a little bit.
So ready?
Yep. Is the seam coming apart?
Yeah, it's coming apart on the wall.
Let's move to the bottom,
Like
see if we can loosen the
fraction.
bottom.
Oh, I can see light through here.
I want to see if we can loosen the bottom. See the bottom? The only one. Hold on. Let me try this saw again here.
Yeah.
I didn't even try.
But that opens up my area.
Yeah. It should really tilt the whole thing. That's why I was doing the top. Give it a tap. Got it.
Ready?
Okay. Hit one side.
Yep.
And watch your gas.
It's just a screws. You know what? Pop these screws out.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that helps.
Make sure it's against it
Yep,
because it
flush.
was a little bit of cement there. Right there. Hard. You're gonna rotate back and
No,
forth.
but I don't. It's like such a marginal area to hit.
Yep, there's no reason you can't do that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's better. Yeah, that moved it.
Yeah, I can see right now.
Yeah, we got this thing loose.
Yep, yep.
Big gap right there.
Okay. Here, right there.
Ready?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll just move it little bit by little bit. Yeah, it's really loosened up.
I want to be right here on this wood.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just giving.
Yeah, we didn't even use the Sawzall.
Not real. I just kind of down low, down low. Okay, okay. Oh, there it is.
Nice.
That's it. Right. Wow. So clean all this off, clean all that up,
Yeah, I see that now.
and we saved.
Wow.
I mean, we didn't hurt the trim hardly at all.
none of the plaster work.
What's on the bottom of this? Drew, that is
Clean as it
cake,
gets.
really. But it's a piece
Yeah,
of
it
cake.
really was.
Putty knife around that. Get everything
Yeah,
off.
clean it up and
Sand it.
it while it's out.
Yeah.
We got a game plan.
Can you talk to the
at that.
carpenter? Would he even just stop by?
Yeah, I could probably get him to.
Well, just ask him.
Are you coming? You want to come see too? Okay, such a good buddy. Such a good buddy. Yes, you are. Such a good little buddy. I love you.
That little bit of hole.
I can hear him discussing something.
What? Honestly, I'll take. Well, this side.
So that's
creates a
the
problem.
small
That side
window.
here,
Actually,
I put that in.
it looks like they already cut it out. Did you guys already cut out that window?
Hello!
Wow, it's a clean cut.
Come over here and get a closer look.
This might not be as complicated as I thought it would be. I was really nervous about what was going to happen, but
With Dad's expertise, he knew how to
Wow.
get this thing out.
it came out just like a Lego block.
It was way easier than you would think.
What music to my... I don't think I've heard that
I
this
know.
entire project.
Not many things are
I
easier.
mean, think about that.
Ah,
I don't know if we
oh
spent
my
10 minutes.
gosh.
No,
Well,
it was
we
really-
were slow.
Yeah, well, I was concerned because I was like 5 minutes behind my arrival time, and well, you guys did it in the 5 minutes.
Yeah, we worked together in getting the sod to be able to go from the inside and push on the outside.
Dang, that looks good.
Yeah. And one of our biggest concerns is now with the plaster on the outside is that these might need to be, well, they will need to
I
be pushed
explained all
out.
that. Yes,
So we're going to simulate that right now.
perfect.
Grab that hammer.
Yeah, I attempted to explain that whole situation. Hopefully everyone understood. But now you'll get a visual.
Lift a little more. You actually got it.
You got to put the bottom in first
But I-
because the rubber.
Okay.
Okay.
I might need you to help me with the numbers, but I think we were leaning towards going with
That's about
the
6,
cork exterior insulation because it could be a bit thinner to have the insulative properties that we need. So how many centimeters would the cork be?
Talvage. Maybe 6, maybe 3, plus the plaster. 5 centimeters in total.
And how much does that stick out?
It's probably at about 6-ish here.
So that's pretty ideal.
Yeah, this is simulating what needs to happen here.
This is the best news. That's not a problem.
No.
That is not bad at all.
And what's really convenient is taking these out. You can see the framework, but I can put them on sawhorses and sand everything. We can get the windows installed, get all this foam scraped off.
Are we gonna do this? Like, do
Yeah.
we even?
Yeah,
we
get
don't even
everything-
need.
Get everything cleaned up. we would do all this detail work here, and our buddy who's a carpenter will also be joining us, and he will help us fit and install the glass into these windows, so that way we can keep these historic, beautiful Meranti tropical hardwood windows.
Music to our ears, and to the former owners of the mill who worked so hard. He was a carpenter as well, but he handmade these windows, and it's going to mean so much to us over the years to just have a bit of his touch and his artistry and his love preserved in the mill as much as we possibly can, you know?
Look how good these were preserved though. They've been installed for 10 years, and a lot of concerns people have had is the quality of the wood. And if we just preserve this, touch this up a bit, it'll be good to go for another 10 years easily before it's gonna need any maintenance.
Sealing, sanding, or repainting. Yeah. I also sort of love the idea of keeping them charcoal.
Yeah, I like the color.
I don't know, like a light, soft sage green was an idea too, but that's going to depend on the color of the exterior of the house. But
You better get planning on your color schemes.
let us know in the comments. What do you think? Like charcoal windows, maybe a soft blush house with the terracotta roof, don't forget. And then we got the natural stones that we're working with. Or if we did the soft sage green windows, we could do maybe like a more neutrally grayish or tan color. If you remember Beauty and the Beast, Belle's cottage was actually a watermill, and her windows were this soft sage color. And I don't know, part of me like would love to recreate that here. La Maison Rose is another bit of color inspiration that we found while in Paris.
The pink would go really well with our greenery around the mill in the valley.
We call it blush, right?
Yeah.
I love it. It's soft, charming.
It looks really nice when the sun's shining on it.
That's right, it's cheery.
Everything you need right there.
It didn't even hurt the plaster.
No, we kept this really intact.
Wow.
But if you're looking very closely in here, I got a surprise that we haven't seen since the walls were plastered. Remember, we had a lot of concern about the exterior walls needing more insulation.
Yeah.
And we're always trying to build better. Well, there's a layer of insulation right here and here, which is about 3 centimeters thick of the foam insulation.
Wow.
And if you look between the exterior concrete block and the pillars here, the blocks here, and then the red brick ceramic on the interior, there's foam all throughout this house on these walls. So we already have insulation. It's just, do we want to do more?
Well, the thing with the exterior insulation is mostly to keep the plaster from cracking, because this heats at a different rate than this,
Yeah,
right?
the different theories on it all.
Yeah. Well, we don't want a cracky, moldy house like we've seen all too often here.
Yeah. What's really a big question mark for us is we have different people giving us advice here locally, and they have different information or theories on how they build, as well as hold information and don't tell us, which makes us extremely confused, and it makes it hard to make decisions. So we're just trying to do the best, but we constantly have to poke people to try to answer our emails and give us information, even people we're paying.
I'd have to say that's probably one of the biggest challenges of renovating.
Biggest headaches.
Yeah.
Like,
No challenge. We will overcome. But yes, there are headaches too. Renovating in a foreign country. Yeah. But you know what? Does it keep us on our toes? It keeps us fully engaged. Keeps us not bored.
yeah,
We'll figure it out.
one of the big things that might be the necessary key to right now is getting an energy inspector out here that can give us information about the values of the insulation, which will help us with the overall value of our house in the long run, as well as make sure we meet all the requirements. They will give us the information that we're going to need when there's the final round for approvals and all the paperwork submitted to grant us our habitation license.
Coming soon.
And hopefully nobody tells us that, hey, you used the wrong materials, you got to redo these windows, your doors aren't the right size. Like, we want to just take care of all those issues so money isn't wasted when we're all said and done with this project.
So again, for anyone who is asking, why is this taking so long? Some of you ask, not everyone. Others of you already understand this is a complicated process. We don't want to do things over. We want to do things the first time right, and that requires research, patience, and
asking a lot of questions. Yeah, asking my dad, who's been a huge resource in building houses, has been wonderful. But as you know, when in Rome, Portugal materials, building codes, all the things are so different than they are where he lives.
I know.
Back in the US.
We build in wood.
Yeah, it's completely different.
It's completely different.
Yeah. So, to be continued. Solutions are coming. Good news. Very good news here on the homestead today. To recap, all the tools needed to remove the windows. The only trash really that we'll have from each window, some foam. Knowing that we can keep our wooden windows and learning that they wouldn't be so hard to bump out when it comes to adding whatever exterior insulation thickness is required for our energy rating certificate all felt like a huge win, and answers that we needed to have before our team of builders could return. But something we still have yet to explain is how we figured out that we could in fact keep our wooden windows.
What I'm told by the inspector from the Camara is that the glass has the ratings, the Ficha Technica, for the energy values of the window based on the thickness of the glass, the size of it, and the argon gas used inside. I just need something to show the rating of the wood that's with the glass and to make sure that it will be approved for the Certificação de Habitação.
Okay, Mr. Drew, could you send me the pictures
Absolutely.
Of the materials you are using and
See.
The glass and all that?
Yep.
You can send it by WhatsApp,
Okay.
easier, or by email,
Okay.
if you can. Send everything. I will speak with my boss to see if there is something we can help you here, okay?
Okay, that would be a good start. Well, that feels like we're getting somewhere, and hopefully this will work. Fingers crossed.
Long story short, with the help of the former owners of the mill providing us with details about the wood used and its ratings, we then shared this information with an energy rating company, our construction inspector, and after a rare visit from our architect, after all of this time and research, we were finally able to get a solid approval from City Hall. Hey guys, I just wanted to come over here and share with you some thoughts that I had about our windows and doors, actually. I'm just really proud of Drew and I for fighting for these windows. I know that they're old and they are going to take some work to fix back up, but I was having a conversation with Drew the other night where I related these windows to like those parts of our lives that are maybe hard to look at sometimes, like those parts that we just want to get rid of and pretend never happened, or the holes in our hearts that like we don't want to acknowledge that are there, and maybe sometimes it would be easier to ignore them, or in this case it would be easier just to buy new windows, to buy the PVC or the aluminum windows that we know would have, you know, the easy approval with the energy certificate and City Hall, and that we could just hire somebody else to install for us. But then there would be a lack of character and meaning and growth and learning. Drew and I have already learned a lot in this process of fighting for these windows. We've learned like what's important to us. We value the fact that they were handmade. We value the not creating more trash by one, getting rid of them, although we would have probably reused them for a greenhouse or something, but not using plastic as much as we can in this build, because it just feels like that's not what the watermill wants. And what the watermill wants, the watermill gets. But truly, like, I just thought that it was so applicable. And if we could start to see the spaces that we live in as a reflection of who we are in the way that we care for them and build them, I think that that would make a big difference in our world. So maybe that's just something to think about. It definitely had me thinking about things. The watermill is so much more than just a home. It is a soul project, guys. And as much as I miss van life, I know with 100% of my heart that we are meant to be here. We are meant to be loving this land and these cats and this special space, and it loves us back, and a learning experience for sure. We learn from the past and we build for the future, right? Okay, well, thanks for letting me share that little bit with you. It felt important, something that was really taking up a lot of space in my heart. They do say the eyes are the window to the heart, or the soul. for the doors to your future. I don't know. Speaking of the future, we will be addressing the moisture issue, removing everything here and trying to dry everything out. So, coming soon.
Look at this. We got an example of our first pane of glass.
Wow, it fits perfectly.
Precision cutting. So now I know exactly the size we need to place the order for.
Because every single one of our windows is this same size.
Yep.
Wow.
250 by 793.
Drew is actually going to be putting in our order for our windows too. Very exciting times. Not our doors though. We don't know those exactly just yet, but windows coming soon. And a haircut too. In other more unfortunate news, we actually broke our back passenger window of our truck. Drew was strimming and a rock just went pew, right through it. We've already cleaned up the glass, but yep, there's gonna be another window needed. Life can be funny like that sometimes. From one window problem being solved to another. Well, that feels good.
That feels really nice.
Nice and shiny new window, complete with our kitty prints from the night that the window was not there. They definitely climbed inside of this, but
I am very happy that this is back in place for our upcoming adventure.
it was so loud driving in here without the window.
You had to roll down the front window because of that ear wobble. You guys know what I'm talking about.
And insurance covered it 100%. Yeah, which is always good news.
Yeah, sometimes you do some little mistakes or boo-boos. Always move the car when you're weed whacking.
Even if you're far from it, because that rock went flying.
Went flinging.
Whew. So hopefully we'll have very good news about our house windows with the arrival of our glass, because the glass has been ordered. We know that we can keep the wood. We have a carpenter lined up to help us with the sanding, the painting, the sealing of the frames.
The new window frames,
yeah. They're not new window frames.
The old wooden frames.
That will seem like new.
They seem new. We're going to get them into new shape.
Yeah, so thanks for sticking around to the end of this one, guys. Wow.
Glass
Grateful.
just seems to be a theme in this one.
Yeah,
we didn't
windows.
even plan that.
Reminds me of that song, na 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 na, people of the window. If you guys have not seen the episode where we break our back window of Spirit, our U.S. camper van when we're in Baja,
Mexico.
Yes, you're gonna want to watch that one. We actually did it twice.
We never told anybody about the second time, but
now you guys know.
so go check out that episode now.
We love
you guys are the best, and we'll see you next time.
Hop in the old jalop.